What's going on, guys? It's your boy Ethan. Welcome to Rampage Mukbang edition number 1, where we're eating some steak tips here at Boston Billiards. It's great. Now I can't talk because I'm chewing. So this was actually a terrible idea for an intro, but we're playing a session. I think we're trying to hop into the 2-5 game. Still chewing. Bad etiquette. This was a mistake. Won't do this again. We're gonna hop into the 2-5 game, maybe 1-3. But if the 2-5 list is too long, but that's it. Welcome to the mukbang. The food here is cool. I'm a big fan. But with that said, hopefully you enjoy the video. You're not here for the food, you're here for poker hands. Let's get right into it. Back at Boston Billiard at the 2-5, we load up for 1,000 in stack, and one of the first hands early on, we pick up King Queen offsuit under the gun. I open things up to $20, and we get the button and big blind to call, so 3 ways to a flop. The flop is Queen 6-6 Rainbow. Once again, another neutral board texture. I fire out a C-bet. It's a small one of $15, 1/4 pot, and we get the big blind to make the call. The turn now comes the 4 of hearts. He checks once again, and definitely going to be betting, obviously for value. We bet $55, and once again, he makes the call. The river is the deuce of spades. It's a total brick, and once again, for a 3rd time, he checks. Given this action, I really don't see him having a 6-2 often. I guess sometimes he can be slow playing me since we do have a history together, but really putting him on some sort of Queen X holding, there's really no draws, so definitely some sort of showdown-driven hand. I size up to $175, assuming we're going to get called by Queen Jack, Queen 10, maybe some sticky pocket pair, but he just never really has Ace-Queen in range, I don't think. So he tanks for a while, thinks about it for maybe a minute or two. Ultimately, $175 is enough for him to make the call. I show my hand, and later, this player tells us he had pocket 10s, so it's nice to get max value against 10s here in this spot, and sometimes our bluffy image can pay us off. Hand after that, we pick up Ace-10 offsuit under the gun. Playing 6-handed, this is definitely in our opening range, so I size to $20. We get +1 to my left and the cutoff to call, so out of position, the flop comes 9-3 deuce rainbow. Pretty much a terrible board for our hand, and when we check, action checks around, so free turn card. The turn is the 10 of hearts, 2 hearts out there now, and definitely sitting with top. It's definitely in order to bet for value, so we throw out $40, about 2/3 pots, and we get the player to my left to make the call. The river now comes an 8, board a little bit more connected, and I don't think we can get too much value considering that this board texture doesn't really hit my range too much. So I decided to check. This player assembles a bet of $80, and with top, easy decision to snap call. This player shows us 8-6, so we take this one down with top pair. Nice to get a little bit more extra money with a check on the river. Here, this hand is quite the doozy. We're in the cutoff with a button straddle, and we look down at Ace-6 offsuit. Action folds to me, so pretty much just cutoff versus button now. I'm going to raise this up to $40, assuming I'm going to take down the blind and straddle, but for $30 more, this button makes the call, so we're going to a flop. The flop is Ace-8-7 rainbow, so flopping top pair, obviously very good for us. Our kicker is not ideal, but it's fine. I throw out a bet of $35, and here we start running into some kicker issues when this player decides on a raise to $75. Obviously, it's a very easy call. It's a min click for only $40 more, and we have top pair. We have runner, straight draw outs. So not really loving the situation, but still obligated to call. I toss in $40 more. The turn now comes the ace of clubs, and now I think we're just married to our hand now. I check, and he throws out a bet of $125. Obviously, it's another easy spot to call sitting with trips. If he ever has the case ace in hand and a better kicker, then so be it. We're just going to have to send over piles of chips his way, but for $125 right now, I'm going to make the call. The river is the deuce of clubs, and here definitely just going to check once again. Don't see much merit into betting. Don't see much merit into getting value from any worse hands. So we check. He thinks for a while and bets out $275. It's a very value-like sizing, but obviously sitting with trip aces. We're not going to do anything but just snap this one off. And if I'm beat, so be it. Tossing a chip for a call, and this player, interestingly enough, shows us 7-3 offsuit. Seems like it was quite the ambitious bluff with his hand right there. But nevertheless, happy to take this pot down, winning this one with easy decisions on the turn and river. So 30 minutes played, we're actually up $1,000 in stack, which is kind of ridiculous, running pretty hot right now early on in the session. In this next hand, we pick up king queen offsuit on the big blinds, and we get a hijack player to limp for $5. The button raises to $20, and he seems to be a pretty solid reg here. So when the small blind folds, it's an easy 3-bet for us as well against his button opening range. I 3-bet to $80, hijack limper gets out of the way, and the button calls. So we're playing this flop out of position. The flop is king 4-5 rainbow, obviously very good flop for king queen, and we elect on a c-bet of $55, about 1/3 pot. He thinks about it and decides on a call. The turn now comes the 6 of diamonds, brings in the diamond flush draw, and here sitting with the queen of diamonds, we're out of position. I'm actually going to mix in a check here with a card that I guess could favor his range a little bit better as a connected card to the board. Anyways, we don't need to protect too much against the flush draw, which kind of leads me towards a check. Now he throws out a bet of $85. It's a really small bet into this pot of around 280-ish, but I'm not going to overplay my hand. Given the line I've taken, check raising here with one pair seems very ambitious on a connected board, so I decide on a call and we see a river. The river is now an ace of hearts. Pretty much a really bad card, not because I'm afraid of the ace, but because I don't think I can get too much value from worse kings that he could play this way. But here, I actually take a really weird line because I do assume my hand is good, and I think we can get some value with hands that have showdown. Like I said, I'm not afraid of too many ace X's here, and I decide on a block bet of 1/4 pot. I throw out a bet of $110. Maybe we can get a crying call from hands like king jack or king 10. If I get raised here, I think I'll just have to fold here, obviously. So he tanks for quite some time, about a minute or so goes by, eventually folds to this bet. Didn't really get the crying call I wanted to get, but still happy to scoop the pot. In this next hand, I just have to put out a warning. It is some donk play alert here. Shouldn't be too new on this channel, but anyways, this hand, ace queen offsuit in the big blind. There's a +1 player who limps. There's a cutoff raised to $25 and action onto me. We're out of position, so easy 3-bet spots. I size 4x to $100. The limper gets out of the way, and the cutoff makes the call. Going to a flop, which comes 7-4 deuce rainbow on these kind of board textures that really don't smash me whatsoever. I decided to just check this one, playing this out of position and pretty much just giving up on this pretty bad flop, but this player checks it back. The turn comes the 6 of hearts, and here, once again, I decide to check, pretty much giving up at this point. Now, this player throws out a bet of $225. I'm not sure what's going on, but this seems like a really odd and large sizing given the size of the pot right now. And potentially, this player seems competent enough to be playing his range and might try to leverage a fold, as this board just doesn't hit me at all. From my experience and perspective, I think pot size bets seem like they want to generate a lot of folds, and it's very ambitious for me to try to bluff catch here with ace queen high, but could it ever be good in this spot? I don't know, but we're going to put this one to the test. I toss out $225, but it turns out the bet was actually $175. Still a very large bet, but it wasn't an overbet to the pot. So now I feel a little dumb. Feels like I just punted away $175. But we're going to a river. The river is the 8 of hearts. We're sitting with literally nothing. I check. This player checks back with pocket sixes. So no, he wasn't trying to leverage range versus range, just playing his hand standardly, turning a set, betting really large, and got an idiot with ace queen high to somehow donate $175 his way. Hand following that, we pick up ace 4 offsuit in the big blind. There's an under the gun open to $15. We get action with the cutoff and button to call onto me. Although we're out of position, we've got a wheel ace and it's only $10 more, so flick in $10. Let's see a flop. The flop is ace 9-7 rainbow. Top pair, I'm gonna be honest, it's pretty good for us. I'm going to check and play and flow, and surprisingly multi-way, action checks all the way around. So we're going to see a turn which is the king of clubs. Now with top pair, certainly time to start betting here. So I size to $40, and we only get one player to make the call on my left, the ungun player. We're going to a river now, which comes the queen of clubs. So backdoor club draw gets there, and now given the board is so wet and dynamic, I decide to check, and this player announces that he doesn't think he can get too much money out of us, so he just checks it back and shows pocket nines. Woof, did not see that one coming at all, flopping a set, It's nice to pretty much lose the minimum when we had top pair. This hand is a fun one because we look down at Queen 10 offsuit on the button, and it's actually our last hand to play before getting moved from the must move to the main game. So when the under the gun player opens up to $20, plus one player calls, action folds to me. It's our last hand at this table. We've seen the under the gun player have a really big stack and open up really wide. So I don't know, we're gonna flick in some money and see a flop. The small blind comes along as well, so we're going 4 ways to the flop. The flop is a good one for our last hand. It's Queen 10-5, 2 diamonds. So when the small blind checks, the under the gun player puts in a C-bet, and it's quite a large one. It's a C-bet of $75, so almost the pot, about 90%. And even better, plus one makes the call. Oh boy. The under the gun player covers us, and we just have a very clear raise here. Given this action, we're sitting with top 2. Our hand is pretty much going to be pretty good here unless we're somehow against pocket 5s, which would really suck. But we put in a raise to $275. The small blind gets out of the way, and really quickly, we hear some ridiculous news. The under the gun player rips his whole stack in there, and he covers us. Plus one player folds, and we're sitting with about $1,500 total in stack. I don't think folding is in the equation here. We're just gonna play a big one, and yeah, let's just run it. I call it off, and the dealer, because it's such a big pot, asks if we wanna run it once or twice. The under the gun player puts just one finger up, so not sure yet what we're up against, but we're gonna ride the variant, running this one once. He now shows us his cards and flashes the table, Jack 9 of diamonds. And as you can pretty much see, we are flipping a coin equity-wise against Jack 9 of diamond and his combo draw. Top 2 is pretty much just a 1.8% favorite ahead. So it's really just a coin flip. Coin flipping for about $3,000. Let's go and see a turn. The turn is actually amazing as it doesn't even bring out a sweat anymore. It comes a 10. The player is now drawing dead, and we scoop a big one. Over $3,000 shipped in our direction. I'll get you a beer. You want to be on the vlog? Yeah. Here we go. There we go. That should be a good sport. So after that monstrosity of a hand, we get moved to the main game, and the only hand that is relevant here, we pick up pocket kings in the small blind. There's an under the gun open to $20. The button makes the call, and the button's playing really deep, about 2,700 in stack, and I cover him. So here, obviously, we are going to be 3-betting, and we size to $100, 5xing the under the gun open. Under the gun player ends up folding, but the button calls really quickly, so really interesting developments happening here. Heads up, the flop comes Jack 5-5 rainbow. Once again, another neutral board texture, and with our overpair, we c-bet $65 like we would with all of our bluffs and value. He makes the call pretty quickly, so let's see a turn. The turn is the 6 of clubs, brings in 2 clubs. And now decision here as to how big of a bet we can get value out of. I decide on a sizing of $280. It's around 2/3, 3/4 the pot. And once again, like I said, I would pretty much be doing this to balance my value and bluff range. So with this $280 bet, he doesn't take too long once again. It seems like he has a pretty easy decision on a call. So we're gonna see what happens on the river. The pot is brewing. The river is the ace of clubs. That's just not the card we're looking to see. And now another decision point as the club draw does get there, but we're not too concerned about it. Decision is to either block bet or check. There's a lot of merit to block betting as we can just slow him down if he were to barrel really big with a bluff potentially. When we look at the hands we can get value from, it's definitely less likely he has ace jack, I guess, given the ace is on the river now, and less likely of a flush because the ace of clubs is out there. So I think for a while, I don't know if Jack X can call 3 streets anyways. So I decide on a check. This would be pretty terrible if he were to blast off really big, but luckily it doesn't come to that as he snap checks it back. I show pocket kings. We take this one down. Looking back, in hindsight, I guess we could have block betted the river as it seemed like he had a showdown driven hand, but it was just pretty much the nut worst river card to see. Anyways, we rack up and book a pretty large 2-5 win. So, we just cashed out. We played for a few hours, win a 50-50 coin flip, and that's how you book a winning session, I guess. But this was a good one. I'm pretty happy with how everything happened. I was carded for a little bit, but I ran obviously really well to win that 50-50, like 3K pot. So, yeah, we're back at Boston Billiards, and it was a good time. So all around, This vlog had everything, all right? It had big pots, it had mukbang. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got. But anyways, thanks so much for watching this video. We played for a few hours. We were in the game for 1,000. Just 1,000, no add-on, no buy-in, or max buy-in. But we were out for 37.10. So good profit there, and it's nice to have back-to-back really big winning sessions at 2-5. Maybe it's the start of a new run. Who knows? But if we can continue to sun run, it's a great time playing poker, honestly. You kind of live for these stretches like this, so hopefully we don't jinx ourselves. But thanks so much for watching this video. This is a very weird way of me doing an outro right now, but it's, I don't know, the lighting's really dark in here, so, and you can actually hear me because there's music playing. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about this. This is an experiment. This whole video is an experiment. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Leave a like, drop that thumbs up if you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next one. We're making a video every single Monday, Wednesday, Friday for poker. So yeah, stay tuned, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.